Welcome to the TLT Movement Podcast, a podcast for tomorrow's leaders today. This episode, I'm here with Michiah Bieter, the legend, the CEO of Religious Packaging, and a young entrepreneur.
Anything challenging is going to be hard. But so what? Hard could be the new fun.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Who's going to carry the boats? Endeavor to persevere.
If you want to be a good leader, you have to understand human nature.
I never look back. It distracts from the now.
Really excited to dive into a couple cool conversations today and just see what we can put together.
Me too. I think you're an ideal candidate for this show because we have a lot of young people that watch this program, and you're a young, successful entrepreneur yourself.
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 23 years old now. Yep.
23.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Jordan year right now, baby.
Nice.
Trying to make the most of it. 23, but I'll be young the rest of my life no matter how old I get, you know?
Love that. Yes.
Sir.
So you're 23. How long have you owned Religious Packaging?
So I've owned Religious Packaging since about June 2019 is when I first started it and came up with the idea. So we're talking a little over 3 years right now, almost 4 years that I've been in business. And man, it has been a journey since the beginning, I'll tell you that. It's been ups and downs and a lot of cool experiences. But yeah, it's been about 4 years now since we started the business.
What is the business?
So we really do custom packaging and branding. I like to say for any industry, really. But you would come to us, and what we would really help you do is we're going to help you create a logo, create brands, get your products ready to go on shelves. So we're really, a one-stop shop to kind of get yourself ready to go and hit the market, is what I like to say.
Wow, a one-stop shop. So,
Yeah.
So a brand would come to you with pretty much nothing but an idea, and you're the one that puts it all together, makes it look good, and then actually gets the actual packaging for their product.
So not even pretty much 90% of the time, I would say people come and they have no idea what they want to do. I'm a very creative person, so I like to pull that out of people, especially when we're working together. But a lot of the times, people are almost looking for somebody to help them guide them along the way. So a lot of people, they have the base of their ideas. They kind of have what they want to do and start, but they don't know what direction to take that into. And so what I do is help pretty much build the road in front of them and make that path clear to them and where they need to go with their company, with their brand, with their ideas, and how to really turn it into a whole business,
Nice. All right, so Honey Talks, especially to young people. So let's just dive in at the beginning of the show.
Let's do it.
How much did this company make year one versus this year 2022?
Well, see, this is a very interesting thing because how much money you make and how much money you save are very different. When starting a company, most of the time, you're not going to be making money. And if you are, you're reinvesting it back into your business. That's just, especially if you want to grow it, that's just the way it is. So the first year, though, we were in business since about June, and we did about 80 grand in sales. So the thing is, none of that was profit. If anything, it wasn't even close to enough money because we need to build, we need to buy new machines, we need to grow. So, it sounds pretty and nice, but realistically, it takes a lot more than that to build a business. And not just, it's not that you need to be making a bunch of money, but you want to have residual income coming in. You want to have cash flow coming in because that's the only way you can really expand and grow. So we started off at about 80 in our first 6 to 7 months. We did.
Nice. And then this year?
So this year, humbly, we've done almost $1 million.
Oh, get out, dude. Let's go.
But it's been a journey, man. It is not always like that. And like I said, it's not like necessarily, we're not sitting here and profiting $1 million. With that, we're probably going to spend all of the money in growing and building it. We're investing. We've bought 4 new machines this year. We started a Florida store this year. Just to move our company down to Florida was upwards of $60,000. So people might be sitting there and be like, oh, $1 million, that's fantastic. But to me, that's just part of the stepping stool to get to where we need to go. All of it's coming in. I'm trying to build the business. I'm trying to grow the company. So I'm taking every dollar and investing it into our people, into our supplies, into our warehouses, whatever it might be. So we're still barely tapped into the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to do, and the money's not even the main focus of it all. I'm trying to build a business that I can really have for my family, that I can leave my legacy behind, that I can do something good for the world and leave an impact in the industry that I'm in. And so the money's a byproduct of wanting those things more. Because I'm so dedicated to building an actual brand, building a company, creating a legacy, the funds just come because people see that and they want to give you their money. They want to spend their money with you. They want to invest in your business and work with you because we're all on the same path. We're all trying to do something big. And so when people can see that on the ground level, see someone coming up, they really get behind that.
I can tell that you are super passionate about all of this. And that this is your baby. And
it's my whole entire life, honestly. I don't mean to interrupt you there, but business has saved my life 100%. It's been one of the pillars of changing me as a man, of growing. Just getting into business and starting to build a company will change you as a person 1,000%. There's no way it can't, because you're going to face adversity. You're going to face challenges you never had before. You're going to face problems you never had before. And you're going to have to, one, choose to overcome that, or two, choose to fall to it and let it overcome you in a way. And so business is an everyday battle of how bad do I want this and how far do I want to go with it. Wow. It's the way I look at it. So every day for me is not like, oh, hey, I can do this or I can go and do that and just see where it goes. It's I'm going to win or I'm going to fail. And that's what business is to me. I have to give it my best every day. And you can't not have passion for something when you know your whole entire life is on the line with it. Yeah. And that's how I look at it. There's no plan B for me. There's no other option. This has to work.
You said it saved your life. That's a pretty heavy statement. In what capacity?
I mean, this is crazy. Even a month after I had started the business, I'm still battling addiction in a way. So I'm a very energetic person. I'm very out there. I just dive into things really hard. And, I've had my own struggles in life and what I fell into in my past and stuff like that. And business pulled me out of that. Really. It really did, because it gave me something, one, to focus on, and it also taught me things about myself. A lot of people don't realize what they have inside of them. And when I had to build a business, I realized all these things about myself, and that gave me something to do every day. So instead of being consumed by the negatives in my life or the addictions in my life or whatever it may be, I took business and let it become my crutch in a way. Let it become my addiction.
Right.
In a way. The business became
You had to replace your previous addiction with something new. You can't just strip it and remove it and expect to just move on if you don't fill that void that's in your 100%. Life. So
and
you just dove all in.
I mean, you can do business wrong. There's a way it can consume the wrong way, but business overall and building companies is one of the most beneficial things you can have in your life. So replacing bad habits with productive money-making habits, very, very good idea. Helped me out a lot. And that's why it saved my life, because it gave me purpose in a way. Before RP and before building this company, I didn't know my purpose. I knew I was meant to do something. I knew I had a voice. I knew I wanted to speak to people. I was always an artist, making music and stuff like that, but I didn't have daily goals, monthly goals, people around me depending on me, employees, all these things that come with a business. And so having all those things really did change me and made me a whole new person, because like I said, you can't not change. You're going to fail or you're going to adapt when it comes to business.
Wow, that is fantastic. I mean, you just mentioned employees. Now, this is interesting because I'm wanting to expand my business right now. I feel like I'm making good money, but I want to take it up to the next stage. And you obviously couldn't do, your close to $1 million a year on your own.
No, it's impossible. You need a team for everything.
So how do you go about hiring employees? Is that process hard?
It is. That's one of the most hard and difficult things you'll ever deal with while I'm creating a company. My biggest challenge has been people. One, as learning how to lead them and guide them in the right way, and two, finding the right people. There's two sides to that coin. As a leader, you have to be ready to lead people. You have to be ready to set the example for your people. If you're not setting the example, if you're not setting the standards, if you're not being the first one on the job and the last one out, how do you expect employees to respect you? Especially if you're not a big brand. You're not Apple. We're not Amazon already. This is religious packaging, your production companies we're putting together. People don't know who we are yet. They don't have a reason to really get behind us. We have to be the reason as the leader, first of all, as the owner of the business. So it starts with who you are and your values. You have to set those in your company, those values, those standards, and you can never break them. So your people won't have to align with that, and you have to uphold that. And that's going to be the key to finding really good people who you can bring into your company, because, like I said, that's one of the most challenging things. And personally, I've had my fair share of experience. Anyone who's ever done business and told you they haven't failed with 1 million people hasn't done business. Right. Because I've lost a lot of employees, and a lot of it I can sit here and say was my fault, not knowing how to lead them, not knowing how to guide them, not knowing how to be a leader and respect them in the right way in a lot of scenarios, because I'm learning myself too. I was a 19-year-old kid who, by the way, never, I'm high school dropout. I never worked a job longer than 8-9 months. So I have zero skills when it comes to business. I learned every single thing. Failing, doing it again, getting back up, trying again, failing, trying again, failing, trying again. So you have to imagine I made a lot of mistakes, a lot, but that's good because that made me who I am. And that also taught me a lot about people. So I guess the way that I've really started to find my employees is, one, set the standards of what I want it to be. And you can never break those. You can never let people come into your business and change what you are, what you stand for, and what you do. So you have to uphold that. And sometimes that means letting go of people if they don't fit that vision. So it's being right, setting the standards, upholding them yourself. And then also the biggest thing was, seeking out people who are like-minded. That's really the only way I've really been able to accomplish this, is finding people who are shooting towards the same common goals. And you have to get them on that perspective. Or people who are dedicated to helping you, and money's their main motive. Sometimes that's not bad. Everyone has different motives. The way you can find out what people's motives are is ask yourself what yours are. We're all the same. And if you examine yourself and what you want in life, you can probably figure out what other people want. And so if you can provide that to them and you can give them what they want, and they'll be good employees for you. But it's all about learning people. It all starts from nature, understanding human nature, understanding people. The only way to really get people connected to your team is if you understand them. They want to be cared for. They want to be cared about. They want to be provided for with funds and money as they work. And so you have to be able to do all of those things as well as give them purpose within their job. And that's going to excel them the hardest, and that's going to bring you right people in. But it's all still complex, man. I'm still learning every single day how to do this right, man. It's been a 4-year journey of, like I said, failing and getting back up and trying again. So that's kind of a little bit of my advice on it, and what I've personally done and how I've ended up with such great people around me is by trying to align people with who I am as a person and what our standards and goals are in life overall, and then build the team around that. And eventually, as you get bigger, you can't control what everyone's doing or thinking, but your core team you have full control of when you start.
Right.
Nobody can take that away from you, how you want your business to be. Nobody can change your company. Nobody can say, oh, you have to do it this way. When you're starting your own business, you set the rules, you set the standards, you set the guidelines. So bring people in at the top who are going to think like you and want to accomplish the same thing as you, and that's going to trickle down. The same way Chick-fil-A's done it. They have everybody doing the same thing. That only happened because the management made that the standard, and they would not let anyone break it. So it comes from us, starts with us, and it starts trickling down and building people who have those same common values and goals and want to shoot towards the same thing with you.
So just to kind of recap what you said, because that was so much great info. Pretty much when you're going to hire employees, first you have to set the standard for your company and be almost your best employee. Be your ideal employee, act the way that you would want your employees to act, dress the way that you want them to dress, set the standard.
You have to. It's mandatory. It's almost, if you don't do that, you're never going to have people under. You're going to have a McDonald's, and no offense to them at all, but people don't care when they're in that company, and that's because the owner doesn't care. It's because he didn't set it like that. That is the straight truth. If anyone tells you different, I would tell you go look at their business and find the lowest employee within their company, and you tell me how that person acts. Ask them the values of the business. Ask them what the standards that have been set, and they won't even know most of the time. They won't even have that answer, and that's the problem with companies these days, that they don't have that answer. So that us as the owners, yes, we have to set that. We have to be an example. The first one in, the last one out, the problem solver. Everything you can think of when it comes to what you would want your best worker to be, you have to do first. And it might take years of doing that before people get behind you and really want to support it. So it's just part of the journey, man. You got to continue to be consistent every single day. That's another thing, consistency. People are going to look at that. They're going to wonder, if you're inconsistent with things, you're never going to get people behind you. Inconsistency is the biggest, especially one of the biggest turnoffs for me, especially if people are telling you things and not doing them. They're saying they're going to get things done and they don't get it done. They're acting like they care, but they're not actually putting the effort in.
Right.
That's a big, big no. And if you're a boss doing that stuff, which a lot of bosses do, because they think, oh, I got the money now, I'm on top, I can just make them do it and I don't have to do it, never going to work. My personal opinion is that will never work in business, ever.
So what is the end goal of religious packaging? You kind of hit on it in the beginning, of it being something that you want to pass on, a legacy, you want to build something, but what does, I guess there is no end goal, truly, but do you...
There actually is. I do have a place that I want to take this thing, and I'll start off with telling everyone this. Shoot for the stars. Do not let any single person in your life ever tell you how big you can make something or what you can do, because I'll tell you this right now, the world is going to stomp on you, they're going to lie to you, they're going to tell you you can't do it. Everybody that I've got in my face and told me I would never be able to accomplish these things and never be able to get here, you're going to hear it your whole entire life, from the people closest to you, from the people far from you on the internet. They're going to tell you, oh, those goals are unrealistic. Those goals are impossible. I'll tell you my goal with RP right now is to be the biggest packaging and branding company across the entire world. That's what I want to be. I want to be a one-stop shop for every brand, every company, no matter what level they are. So what I mean by that is, let's just say you're a little girl who has a makeup brand out there, and you need to help branding yourself, getting jars made for your makeup. You have a great recipe. I want you to be able to go on our company, reach out. Now you're a little girl, 10, 12 years old. You just started a business because you had a whole religious packaging app, website, whatever it is, that showed you every step you needed to take, every step I learned throughout these years of how to start branding and marketing and building a product. So that's what I want RP to be. And then even if you're the biggest company, let's just say you're Apple, you come to us, I want to be able to do all of your boxes, do all of your wraps, do all your branding, do your image work, your commercials. That's what RP's end goal is. We are going to be the Amazon of packaging and branding. And what I mean by that is you come and you build your brand with us, no matter what level of business you're in. Instead of trying to go figure this stuff out yourself, buy all the printers, buy machines, work with other distributors, you're going to be able to come to our company, and that's it. Is you're good. You don't need anything else. You get in touch with our team, and we fully get your products ready to go on shelves.
Wow, I love that goal. I'm a huge fan of goals that are so big they scare you.
Yeah.
And so that is...
I've always thought that way, man. The first thing I ever wanted to do was I wanted to sing on American Idol, and then I wanted to go in the NFL and be a quarterback, and then I wanted to run in the Olympics, and then I wanted to be one of the biggest artists in the world. And so my point I'm making is I've always thought big. I could never just be like, oh, hey, I'm going to go work a normal job. And even if everyone's sitting there like, oh, that's unrealistic, to me it wasn't. I believed whatever I could put my mind to, I would accomplish. And now I'm here putting my mind to this business. I'm putting my mind to the music I'm doing, and it's working. Because I've always believed in myself, and that's where it all started. So shoot big, man.
That is fantastic. One thing that I've noticed, obviously, if you're going to be the biggest packaging company in the entire planet, you're going to have to kind of, get some sort of app, like you said, or a website that can design this. And I'm very interested to see how you're going to do this, because I know a lot of branding online websites out there. They're very impersonal. Like it's kind of hard to maybe do it all on your own. You feel like you're on your own. You feel like you can't have a connection at the company. So it's going to be very interesting to see how you kind of set yourself apart by getting over that to be able to do it on a wide scale, but also keep that same personal connection that you have with your clientele. Because I've worked with you and seen you work for a couple of years now, and you are so on top of it. You've got people that hit you up directly. You've got your own graphic designing team, and they work with the customers in a way that the customers feel like they can hit you up and that you will answer, and that you can work with them and do exactly what they need.
Yeah. And so the biggest question is, how do you scale that, right?
Right.
So that becomes the thing. My personal opinion is you always need people. So everything's become automated by machines these days. And I believe you can still have a company that's nationwide and just have the right people in it and have the right people responding there. If you always have people trained to handle your clients and your customers and everything that's coming in, you'll be able to keep that personal feel. So the whole goal is what I'm going to try to accomplish is having RP, as we grow, continue to build our sales team, our management team, all under the standards that I've set, and eventually have, 100,000 people across the world maybe who are all dedicated to serving people and part of this company and answer phones and people. I'm never going to go fully automated. That's one thing I've dedicated myself to. I never want you to call my business and have a machine talk to you. Now, will there be little things one day that maybe aren't always people? Sure, but the heart of it is always going to be real people who are dedicated to really serving you. They're going to be there. And one big thing with, even like you said, people are always able to reach out to me. I give my number to every client I talk to. I don't care who they are. They all have my business line, and a lot of them have my personal line too, because especially when you're starting a company, this is more for that. You need to get personal with people. You need to make people feel like they can actually reach you and get connected to you, because that's going to lock their business in.
Right.
Every person, you can find a million companies right now where you can just go online and buy products. You can't find a million people who will give you their phone number to the owner of the company that you can call at any period of time and he'll answer and talk to you. So when you're starting a business, that's crucial. You want to be able to let people get really personal with you, build close relationships, let them have your phone number, answer the phone and talk to them. That's going to set you apart in business. And so really it's just finding a way to replicate that, teach that to people, and then continue to use that system. I'm only one person now, but there's a lot of other people out there who think like this and who want to accomplish things like this. My goal is just finding them, bringing them to business, training them the correct way, and then continue to expand and grow that. Even some of these guys we have here now, that's what we're working on, is we're working on sales. We're working on how do I treat people? How can I train the next person to act just like that? And then create a system that's built around a certain culture of treating people a certain way.
Right.
Just like Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is honestly one of my companies I look at and I go, these guys, did it. They did it right, bro, because their culture's down and their people are there. They're all responsive. Their service is so fantastic. Their product is good.
And it pays off. They take a day off and they make more than
anybody, like
fast
7
food.
times. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They make more than everyone they exit out. They just keep going over. There's no way for other people to keep up. And that's, if they can do it, I know we can too. So right now I'm learning along the way. I don't necessarily even have all those answers yet, but that's the cool thing about business too, is you don't have to have all the answers. You learn as you go. And a lot of people are going to tell you that's not the way it is, or they're going to be scared of that, but I'm not scared of that. So I'm learning as I'm going. I'm still adapting, figuring out how to train people in this way, building the culture, setting the standards. But yeah, that's really the long-term goal, is just continue to keep real people involved in it. I think that's the most important thing. I think that's American business at its root and heart.
Totally.
And I think we've gotten away from that a lot. And I don't get me wrong, technology is great, but there's nothing that replaces a human connection. And that's why people spend money with RPs, because I give them a human connection. I give them something to go home at night and be like, I like this guy. I like this company. I'm getting a product that's helping me grow my business, but this is somebody that I go and have lunch with once a month now, and their business is there for me, and they take care of me, and that's real. And so you got to have people to get that feeling, to captivate people like that.
Awesome. So a lot of people that are successful in business, they were raised up right. You seem like, for 23, you seem on top of it as far as understanding, working through, not allowing fear to control you. So what was your childhood like to be able to make you into the man that you are today?
Well, my childhood growing up was mostly pretty good, especially the younger years, whatever, 5, 6, 7. Everything was pretty normal. My dad was always a hard worker and taught me, my bad, I had to burp, and taught me good values. I think that was a lot of it, was he raised me to look at things a certain way. But when I was about 10 years old, he was taken away from us and given 40 years in the federal prison system for crimes he didn't even commit, things he's in the middle of right now, still fighting for his freedom. And that sent my life into a crazy direction. And I had to face a lot of really, really hard things and a lot of hard struggles, and losing a lot of people in your life. You almost have to let go of any control. When you realize at 10 years old that you can't control anything, you have to become fearless. Because what am I going to hold to? When I don't understand anything, when I have no idea what direction life is going, what am I going to hold on to? What am I going to fear? I just had to step into what life was. And so at a young age, I started to train myself to, one, not really try to care what anyone thinks, not worry about what anyone's thinking about me or what they're doing, and just try to see what's out there in the world. So I started expressing myself freely and really just stepping into, who I was as a person. And through trying things out and trial and error, I found out that you don't have to be scared of things that are out there. We're all making the same mistakes. And the truth is, nobody really knows what they're doing. And nobody has it figured out. So when you realize that, what's there to be scared of? You're going to be judged by somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of smart people out there. We have a lot of knowledge and things. But the general truth is that we are all trying to figure it out. And so I've let that be the backbone of, hey, I'm just going to be who I am and be authentic and enjoy the ride. And why am I going to worry about something that I can't control? None of us can stop anything in life except for what we do ourselves and what we can control within our own mind. How am I going to worry about things that I have no power over? That right there is a damaging way of thinking. That right there is a way of thinking that holds everybody back in life. It's because they go, well, what if? Yeah, what if? That's the exciting part of it. What can happen?
Right.
What is out there? You might do something that you thought was never possible, and it leads you in a whole different direction. I was never supposed to be a business owner, ever. I never thought I would end up on this path. But because I stepped out into the what if and what's out there, I ended up becoming a business owner. So fear and being scared of the unknown it's a man, I don't know the right word I'm trying to put on it, but it's almost your biggest enemy. I guess I could say it's fears. It could be your biggest enemy. It could be the thing that slows you down and stops you. My biggest fear is dying one day and not doing everything that was out there that I wanted to try, not figuring it out, not falling down and scraping my knee and getting back up. If I don't go out there and try, that's going to be my biggest regret. So rather than, being scared of failing, learning something from it. By the way, you don't learn anything in life without failing. So.
Well, how do you mean?
So the way I look at life is this. How do you gain new knowledge? You gain it through experiences. And if you're never doing something new, if you're never pushing your boundaries, you're probably not going to be in a new experience. If you have the same routine every day, you never challenge yourself, you never wake up and work out, you never try a new eating habit, you never try to push yourself, you're never going to find more out about yourself, and you're never going to grow. So what I mean by failing makes you into a better person is when you go out and try something and you make a mistake or you fall or slip, that's going to teach you something, one, about yourself, about the situation, about what you just did. If you realize, oh, hey, I just did this and I really don't like it, now you know never to do that again. But that'll teach you wisdom of where not to go in life and what to stay away from. If you, whatever, sin, make a mistake, hurt somebody's feelings.
Sure.
And you realize, oh, hey, I need to have, more compassion over here. I need to learn. You can take those examples. You can take broken relationships, take painful things you've went through, and actually let them be the guideline of teaching you what the right thing to do is. And so I like to just take my experiences of when I fall, when I make a mistake, and I like to say, hey, I did this now. How did I get here? How did this happen? What did I do to end up in this place? And what can I do to be somewhere different next time? And so you have to ask yourself those questions. But if you don't make the mistake, you can't even bring those questions up. And if you're scared to go out and try something and you're scared to fail, so you never do it, you're never going to find out if there is those questions to ask and what there is deeper within yourself. So
that is a great word for our TLT. Don't use your youth as an excuse to not do things. Use it as an excuse to do new things.
Yep.
Because right now is the time for people to fail. I mean, this is the time of your life to get out there, try anything that slightly interests you, and if it sticks, you might just start a business that within 4 years will be making $1 million.
And even to the people who are 65 years old, maybe watching this right now, don't be scared to fail either. Your life is just starting. I'm telling you that we have so much time in our hands. And not that we can control when we pass or how long we're here, but take every day as it is right in front of you. Go make the most of it. Shoot for something. Try to accomplish something. Don't be scared. Don't let fear hold you back. No matter what age you are, you can accomplish your dreams if you just put your mind to it. Go out and work every single day towards that goal and fall and get back up and fall and get back up.
Yes. Fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Yep.
That's such a great point that you made. A part of our TLT program that we do is called Wisdom Keepers. And it's a program where young teenagers and even younger, we intentionally connect them with people that are older and retired. And we have them talk. And the number one thing that I've noticed with a lot of older people, 65 and up, they've stopped dreaming. They've stopped shooting for a goal or even really caring, and they let their life stagnate. And then you see a rapid decline with their age, their mentality, their physical health. And then I meet some old people who are 80 years old, still working a business, still sharp, trying new things each day, and they feel young.
You want to know the difference? They're staying uncomfortable.
Yes.
People get comfortable. People want that paycheck every month, that pension, that 401k, and they want to rest in, I want to work at the same job and I'm not going to chase my dreams because if I do, what happens if I don't have enough money to do this? And they let all these things that aren't even real reality, that could be, slow them down, and that kills their dreams. And we've taught our society these days to stop dreaming and just choose the safe route. And that's what kills people faster than anything. That's why the 80-year-old's alive, because he doesn't know what's coming tomorrow. He's got a business and there's a new challenge ahead of him, and that keeps him excited, man. That keeps him waking up and going, man, what's out there for me? And so you got to chase those dreams because that's what gets you up every day. And the whole world is trying to convince you that, you got to do the safe route. But I'm telling you right now, the safe route, you might as well dig a grave and get in it. I'm not trying to be too harsh, but why spend your whole life wasting it to be comfortable, bro?
Yeah, to be safe.
To be comfortable. Have you ever watched a movie? Have you ever read a book about a great thing accomplished? When were they ever comfortable? You ever got in the Bible one time and read anything? When was anything comfortable?
Trial after trial. It makes it interesting.
Exactly.
It's such a good point. You never watch a movie where they just go to work and have a good time.
You would never watch that.
Yeah, you would never
get bored. Yeah, and that's everyone's life. That's 95% of the way people live. When 95% of the way people live, you could never make a story about it. And how could you not make a story about an individual, unique life that was created 1 out of 8 billion right now? That is the most interesting thing ever. And you're going to have a boring life and do nothing with it?
Don't waste the life that God preciously gave you.
Yeah, as a gift.
Totally.
100%.
What a great way to end the show.
Yes, sir.
Michaiah, thank you so much for being on the TLT Movement podcast.
Thank you, Danny, for having me on.
I know our audience appreciates it. And if you want to check out Michaiah and his business, where can they find you?
We got our Instagram, Religious Packaging. You can look it up like that. We have social media. Our website is up there too. And then I also have a personal Instagram, All Right MB3, All Right, and then MB3. Religious Packaging, just those two words put together. You can find us on social media. Thank you for having me on, Danny. I hope you guys can get something out of this. I hope it can impact you in some type of way that you can carry it with you. I know that I always used a lot of, other people's success and path in life when they were winning as inspiration for my own success. And I always looked at someone else and said, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. So I hope you guys can get that out of it.